Hi all and welcome. So I'm Spyro Ferizis and episode 1, welcome aboard guys. Like this is all going to be about me and my journey, and in the coming weeks we're going to have guests coming on. We're going to have Figure Sparkies sharing their insights. We're going to have industry pros on, and it's just going to be a real no BS approach to the business behind your electrical business, right? Because there's a lot of Sparkies out there that are doing it tough, and that really bothers me because it doesn't need to be that way. So let's get into it. You guys probably have seen me around. You guys have probably seen, a lot of you may already know who I am. We've got, members across Australia and New Zealand that are part of our program. So before we dive in and we start interviewing guests, let's get to know a little bit about me and who I am, right? So I'm Spyro Ferizis, which is an odd name. Spyro is short actually for Spiridon, which is, first generation Greek Australian. So hence the name there. And grew up in an area of Sydney called Beecroft, which is a small area. And, grew up there for, I live in the eastern suburbs now, but spent, 25, 26 sort of years actually in Beecroft. Went to school, Oak Hill College, De La Salle. So I went to a De La Salle school. And as I went through high school, I was hanging around the skate parks a lot. So I was doing a lot of BMX, skating, motorbikes, dirt bikes, all of that stuff. That's what I was into, very, very odd hobbies, especially for a Greek Australian, but, subject to where I grew up, my parents really encouraged that, coming to Australia, you got to embrace the sports, the culture of the Australian way. So I was surfing, skating, riding BMX. I was playing rugby union, bit of league as well. So hence why I don't really sound like your typical Greek as well. My parents really instilled the work ethic in me that I had to work. And if I wanted anything, you could have whatever you wanted, but you would have to work for it. So I did, right? And me wanting, maybe a new BMX bike, a new skateboard, things of that nature, I had to work for it. So from 13, my first job that I remember was Avon, which was Avon makeup door to door. So that's what really instilled then. And then as soon as I turned 14 years old, I was able to get a real job. So I got a job in the biggest small business in the world, which is McDonald's. So I worked at Thornley McDonald's up and towards even the early parts of my apprenticeship. And I was working, 3-4 days a week while completing high school as well. And I made more money working at McDonald's than I did in my electrical apprenticeship, which I'll get into. But yeah, electrical apprenticeship in my time was, $300 a week. So wasn't too great. Now, so progressed, worked through McDonald's, and then my last day of my HSC was from the first day of my apprenticeship, right? So I had an apprenticeship already lined up, and it didn't really bother me what sort of trade or industry I got into. I was very instilled, and I have no issue with saying this, I was always into business. So, doing the door-to-door thing at 13, working at McDonald's as well, it really did shape that. It didn't bother me what industry I got into as long as I had a business out of it. And hanging around the skate parks and things like that was a natural progression because a lot of my mates were in the trades, and it sounded like it sounded like just the natural thing to do, and it sounded like an optimal opportunity to build a business from, right? Which was you can, you do your apprenticeship, you get that tunnel vision, and then as we know in the trades, it's your license to print money. However, for a lot of people, it's not that way, right? They're struggling and they are doing it tough, and it doesn't need to be that way, which I will touch on to. But yeah, did my apprenticeship. I did it in Sydney. My first year was with a high-end residential electrician that would do a lot of cottage work. So, it was that old school, $300 a week. You'd wake up, I would drive to his house at say 5:30, 6 a.m. We would then go from his house, have a team of 2 to 3 in the van, and then drive onto site and start roughing in, fitting off, and all of that, which was great. And then work kind of dried up a little bit, so was made redundant. We went our separate ways. Still speak to him today. He's doing very, very well these days. And then went into apartments, right? So I was doing for the other section of my apprenticeship, I was doing a lot of apartment work, which was construction based. So you know, working for high rises, 300, 400 sort of apartments at a time, just rough in, next one, fit off these units, rough in, fit off, just repeat, repeat, repeat. And the whole time, even when I was going to TAFE and things like that, I just had the tunnel vision. The tunnel vision was finish your apprenticeship. As soon as you finish your apprenticeship, you will be able to create your own business and then absolutely send it, right? And so I did. So I finished my apprenticeship. As soon as I finished my apprenticeship, I spent all my money on my first van, which I didn't have the money to also kit it out, right? So spent my whole paycheck, went to Hyundai and bought my first iLoad. And because I didn't have enough money to fit it out, I actually sold my dirt bike, my beloved CR125R Honda, right? So two banger. Sold that to sacrifice and did half the kitting out. So I did half the shelving, ladder racks and step. Still didn't have enough money to do the other side. So I did a few jobs, did the other side. And then as I did a bit more jobs, then I got the sign writing. So all the money I was doing, you know, a few referrals from friends and family. And from those referrals, I was able to then have the van fully kitted out, reinvesting back into the business, doing websites, things of that nature. Everything just went straight back into it. That was just normal for me to sacrifice for future. That was just very organic, and it was that approach. And me being me, I wanted to do because of my apprenticeship as well, I was only very much exposed to a lot of construction-based work, which was high-end residential in the eastern suburbs and North Shore, but also high-rise resi, you know, new apartment builds. So me being me, straight away, I went to every single builder and pitched my services to them. As I was always exposed to construction through my apprenticeship, it just felt the natural thing to do is to pitch my services to all the builders that I could get my hands on. So I did. So I went to every single construction site, pitched my services, and gained traction straight away. So within 3 months, I had my first apprentice with me, and he is still with us today now as a tradesman, obviously 7 years later, and he's our longest serving employee. So got him on pretty early on. So we're just taking on absolutely everything that would come our way. You know, I've got some lights that need to be replaced. Yep, I'll do it. I need this new build done. Yep, we'll do it. We need this duplex done. Yep, we'll do it. So I was really bullish, mainly on construction, right? I had a few mates and stuff that they were plumbers, and they sort of said the real estate strata thing as well. And I did it. I was like, all right, sounds good. More works, more money, right? That was my mindset. Like, let's just go. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's just get it. So as you could probably imagine, doing both real estate strata, construction, absolutely taking on absolutely everything I could get my hands on. It was a little bit messy, so I needed another truck straight away. So without even looking at my numbers, I was like, boom, let's go. Buy another truck. Bought another truck. Get another apprentice. By that stage, it was about, you know, a team of 3. So we could have guys on site and then leaving to do the emergency work, right? In a nutshell. Which served us well for a bit. But then, you know, we're doing that thing just nonstop, like go, take on every work. I had a you know, good team there. So the boys, you know, were working hard on site. We were doing a lot of the real estate strata stuff, the emergency, the maintenance as well. And that was serving us. And I just kept thinking, we need more jobs. We need, like, you know, we need bigger jobs. We need more money. We need this, and then it'll be great. And it was, what's next? And it got to a point, long story short, I won't, you know, bore you guys with it, but it got to a point where we're doing a lot of high-end residential construction for bespoke award-winning builders, right? Award-winning builders. And I know what you guys are going to say, oh, but I work for award-winning builders, and I work in this area of town, I work in this pocket of town and whatnot. But it got to a point where I'm a yes man, right? So, you know, I value my employees a lot. I want them to be looked after. But in that hustle and bustle of just taking on absolutely everything I get my hands on, it got to a point where I was working for high-end, like I said, high-end award-winning builders. I'll mention it again. And I got to a point where I was owed just around 200K, and I was about 24 years old. And I was like, this is not it, eh? This is not right. I'm working really hard. I'm doing all these jobs. I'm doing all this work, and I'm not seeing the fruits of it. Like, I can't afford a tradesman. My team's working nonstop. We're having We're working from 7 till 9 o'clock at night. We're paying for pizza parties on site as you do. And there wasn't real money. I was like, how can people, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I can't afford a tradesman. I can't afford Hagar or Clips or these other sort of brands that, I want to be putting in. Like, what's going on? And the builders are saying, I'm saying to the numbers aren't right. And the builders are saying, I've got to put my prices down lower. And I was like, something's not adding up. And then I'd speak to the people at the pub and I'd speak to friends and family at the family barbecues. And they would say, well, you're doing something wrong. If they've got someone that can do it for cheaper, then that's on you to work out why that other person can do it for cheaper. And I go, nah, I'm not taking that. I go, we work hard. My team works hard. I go, there's got to be a better way. There's something that I'm not doing right. And I remember I said, I'm going to track absolutely all the ins and outs of this next job from start to finish to see what's going to happen. And what happened was, within the first week, we roughed in this 2-story luxury house, right? 2-story luxury house. And within the first week, the builder then came to us and said, oh, Spyro, mate, forgot to tell you, we've got these, please find attached new amended plans. I forgot to give you these before the boys drafted in. And I got these new attached amended plans. And it was completely different to what was there. Not only was it different, he forgot to give these attached amended plans to the chippy. So the chippy had to reframe majority of the studs. And I was just like, well, who's going to pay for this? And before you guys attack me in the comment section, well, the builder should pay, the builder should pay. We all know the builder should pay. In reality, will the builder pay? It's a different story. So around this time, being a yes man, pleasing the builders, pleasing all clients, that's what I do. We're there to please. We're there to make sure everyone's happy, keep the services going. Got to a point where I was owed about 200K. And like I said, it was not it. And I received a cold call for marketing services, and it was a mentorship program, which was my first mentor. And I was like, whatever, nah, this is ridiculous. And the cold caller, the appointment setter said to me on the phone, he goes, mate, we've got a system that will be able to bring you 6 jobs a day. And I go, oh, mate, with my ego, I've got, 3 trucks and 3 guys already. Like, I'm already doing more than 6 jobs a day. Like, I'm already doing that. And he goes, well, I can get you 6 more. And I was like, okay. And I had a slight curiosity, right? And then he made the pitch around, we can get you 6, of high paying premium sort of customers around that. And I was really intrigued by that. And the reason for that is because that week, we're doing, we're taking on everything. We're taking on construction. We're taking on maintenance. We're taking on everything. Everything we could get our hands on, we would take. And I remember thinking, if I could serve mum and dad customers every day, I would be happy. Because I'm charging X amount of dollars a day, like the 2.5K per day per truck model that we train in the program. But even back then, this was, say, seven years ago, I was like, if I could charge, upwards of 2K a day, work for the mum and dads, there's no email battles, there's no low margins, there's no matter what I do, it's the wrong way, the builder calling you to jump onto site. I'm not getting penalized for the builder's inefficiencies. I'm working off me and my team's efficiencies, which I'm happy with. I'm not competing against, lemons in the industry. I'm competing against our sales skills to convey value to the customer. I remember thinking, if I could service mum and dad customers every day where they make you tea, coffee, cakes, they're happy, they say thank you, which is on the flip side of the builders that are saying, no, fuck you, we need you here now. And then unappreciated, no matter what you do, you can't win. And I was like, but how can I do that? So it was right time, right timing. I had my first mentor, rolled the dice on it. In fact, before jumping on, I asked all my friends and family, like, should I do this program? Should I do it? They all told me no. They said, no, it's a scam. That's what they said to me. And it was one of the best investments I have made. And since then, I then was like, wow. So then I got exposed to the mentoring space, and I go, well, you're telling me I've got this issue in my business, so then I can then onboard a consultant or a business coach, mentor to then get me through that, which will then accelerate my business. I was like, that's just a brain dead decision, right? So then from there, I got a few more mentors and consultants on board, and then went to America and really got addicted by the American service model. All right. So, and I'm doing this all on top of the dome. So if I've missed stuff, you're going to learn more about my stuff in the coming episodes. But basically, went from apprentice straight into, in a nutshell, this is it in a nutshell. How about this? Went from apprenticeship with the tunnel vision of I need my electrical license for my license to print money, right? Did my apprenticeship. Then went straight as a business owner, opened up, and I was just taking on absolutely everything, listening to my mates, how much to charge, what to do, just taking on all work, being a yes man organically. I said absolutely yes to all work, which we definitely don't do now. And because not all work is profitable work, and we don't want it all, but we'll get into that. And then went straight into just working for award-winning builders, working for architects, doing absolutely real estate strata, maintenance, doing everything, absolutely everything. Expanded to 3 trucks pretty quickly. Obviously grown double since more than double since then. And and then got mentored myself, and then went to America and really, really made sense about the American model. And look, guys, so I'm not jumping too quickly. As soon as with my first mentor, he really taught me how to get customers and the customers that you want to get, right? All things marketing based, right? Exposed me to the world of marketing, right? And there's a lot of marketing that's done wrong. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people think they know how to market, but someone that has spent over millions of dollars on marketing, I know a thing or two about how to make the phone ring, put it that way, and continue to, because I know exactly, how to get predictable leads, predictable sales, and predictable profits in your business, right? So it's very important to know where you're putting your marketing dollars and where your marketing dollars can go further. And can you have a 7-figure business without spending money on marketing? Absolutely. There are marketing strategies where they cost you $0 and you can get the phone ringing. So, and they work brilliantly. So it's a combination of both online and offline strategies that are paramount for all electrical business owners. So as soon as I learned all the ins and outs on that sort of business model, I pivoted from construction, and I didn't just flick off like a switch. I didn't just say, all right, day one, see you later to all my builders and go into see you later all my builders and go into maintenance. I didn't do that. What I did was, I know I'm an ethical bloke, even though a lot of the builders, I won't go into it in depth right now because they will bore you guys, but even though I did right, and our company and our employees did right, everything to serve the builders, we didn't just sack them on the spot. We said, we'll honor our existing contracts. We gave them plenty of notice, but said, look, moving forward, we're going in a different direction, and we are now not doing construction. We are purely doing service. Now, instantly, every single builder turned around and said, Spyro, we love you so much. No, stay. We'll pay you more. That's what they said. We'll pay you more straight away. With the margins we're making with our current business model, I said to him, look, with respect, of course, it's got to be with respect, guys. I said, no, look, thank you, but no, thank you. We are not going to honor any more construction-based work. We're purely looking at service moving forward, and we're only heading in that direction. So we did. And of course, I can't remember if I just said it, but yeah, they said, we'll pay you double, we'll pay you more, but I go, we need more, and it's not even worth us tendering or quoting for these projects. So yeah, we honored our existing contracts in place, and then after that, we went straight and pivoted. That's a key word in business, is pivot. We pivoted from service into construction. From construction into service. Definitely not from service into construction. Definitely not. Definitely don't want to do that. And we just went absolutely gung-ho with it. built a 7-figure turnkey operation, which I still own and manage today, of course. So what I did was we pivoted from construction to service, built a 7-figure turnkey operation, which serves me and my team brilliantly. And it's automated. So that allows me to go on holidays. It allows me to go on holidays. It allows me to, spend time with my friends, with my family, and do what I want to do. Now, does that mean I can spend, 10 years in the Bahamas and not lift up a laptop or open or look at my emails? Absolutely no. This is where it's no BS. Guys, if you have a business, this whole passive income that we see on the internet nonstop, nothing is ever passive without doing anything. My day-to-day now consists of me looking at our KPIs, making sure everyone's performing, and that is it. Do I quote? Am I on site? Am I doing the day-to-day operations? Absolutely not. We've got a structured business where we've got a 2IC that handles all the day-to-day operations. We've got a lead gen strategy. We've got an admin team that books in the calls. We've got our techs that are quote, selling, completing the work, right? So it runs autonomously like a well-oiled machine. And it wasn't always like that, of course, but it's great. And yeah, we're still scaling it. We're still growing, forever growing. And we're having a really good time doing it because it's a business that everyone wins. If my team wants to go on a holiday, they can. If I want to go on a holiday, like I just came back from 5 weeks in Greece, I can, right? It's a business that serves me and my team, right? So a big question is, and we're going to go a little bit deep, right? A big question is, does your current business serve you, or are you serving your business? Because there is a big difference, and we got into business to create a business that serves you. So we want to ensure that's happening. Now, as I was part of a lot of best practice groups, both in Australia and in America, I really soaked up the American model, especially with their ability. Love them or hate the Americans, they know business and they know how to sell. That's for sure. They know how to maximize profits, run a profitable business, and they're pretty clever when it comes to home service, put it that way, right? They've got many solo vans over there in the States that are hitting over $1 million per truck. Yes, I'll say that again. In America, you've got one truck hitting upwards of $1 million, right? Our business model in Australia, we want you hitting upwards of $40,000 a month. Of course, we've got members that are hitting, between them and their apprentice, they're hitting 70, 80 grand a month. But as a minimum, we want you hitting 40 grand a month as a minimum KPI. That's the business model that we train. That's a business model that I follow. We keep it simple, stupid, 2.5K per day per truck. Nail it, scale it, and get off the tools. Through my training with mentors, coaches, both in the industry and out of the industry as well. So not all my mentors are in the electrical industry, right? So, and I'm a big believer you can learn from everyone, but look, learning from someone that has actually done it and knows exactly what people are going through and what hurdles are, because I've had mentors that are both in the industry and also outside of the industry, and we've created a business model that works, and it works really well, right? So it's at 2.5K per day per truck. You nail it and you scale it. So after I got a taste of what the Americans are doing, I was like, this is phenomenal. I love what they love them or hate them. They are very smart when it comes to business, and it's expected in America. If you have a business, it's expected that you make money from it. So I don't know why in Australia, NZ, and surrounds, and wherever you listen to around the world, in England or whatnot, I don't understand why tradies make it as like it's a crime to make money. Like, oh no, you can't charge that, or no, that's taking advantage of the customer or whatnot. But like, yeah, there are companies that are that pump and dump mentality, and we're not about that. I'll say that firmly. We are not about that churn and burn, pump and dump mentality that we see some tradies doing. No. That 2.5K per day per truck business model that we train and that I train it comes based off data, right? And once you're exposed to the data and our profit rate calculators, chargeback calculators that's on our program, it will make sense as to why if you're charging less than that, you're going to find it very, very hard to be profitable in business. Now, yeah, so in a nutshell, so I'm a seven-figure electrical business owner now, have an automated business. Now, in a nutshell, so after building a seven-figure turnkey operation, which serves me and my team brilliantly, I was asked by a lot of people, how did I do it, whatnot. And look, there's a lot of guys that I was jumping on Zooms. I've been jumping on Zooms with people for the past 2 years, right? Just doing one-on-ones and things like that. Like, let's get you to here, let's get you to there. And then everyone was like, well, let's do it in a structured agenda, build a program based around it. Let's have a sit down, because guys, there's a big difference between someone talking at the pub or speaking in the middle of traffic versus having a structured program with systems in place to then really bolt on to your business, right? So that's how Sparky Sales Systems was born. I got requested to make Sparky Sales Systems by our members. So I had members, I'm from Sydney, obviously, but I had members in, the Sparkies reaching out from Goldie, from Melbourne, from Western Australia, South Australia, and we've now got members in NZ as well. So we had members reaching out saying, Spyro, how are you getting, how are you doing it? I became a sales coach as well. So, and again, just doubling down on knowledge, how we can really perfect our sales systems, lead gen strategies, all of that. And we've put it into a program for Sparkies, with, again, a no BS sort of approach. So in a nutshell, I was asked to create Sparky Sales Systems, and me being me, I was like, yeah, 100%, let's do it. Like, it's needed. I'm sick of hearing Sparkies. We've got the highest bar to entry. I don't know about you, but doing my capstone and doing the final exams was tough. Like, it was tough. And we're in an industry which is got such a high bar to entry, but for some reason, there's a lot of Sparkies undercutting. And I don't think they're undercutting. And the thing with undercutting is, it's not that, that people are missing out on work and whatnot. It's that it bothers me that Sparkies are leaving money on the table. And me being so passionate, especially for electricians, it's not only are you undercutting the market, but you're undercutting and undervaluing your services, and you're doing the wrong thing by your family. And it bothers me a lot because I hear it all the time, like, oh, no, I finish work at 6. No. And we're used to the pain, right? But that's not normal. It's not normal to finish work at 6. It's not normal to not be able to pay your BAS bill. It's not normal to not be able to pay your supplier bill, your staff, whatnot. That is not normal, right? So a lot of the time, it's when you're speaking to guys at the pubs, it's the blind leading the blind. And it's not normal not to be able to pay for your business expenses. Your customers pay for absolutely everything in your business, right? So if you're unable to make these payments, it's going to sound, don't take it personally, take it professionally. Everyone that knows me knows I'm there to help. Don't take it personally, take it professionally. There is a better way. And I know you're used to the pain. I know you're used to trying to work it out yourself as technicians. That's what we do. We're there to try fix the fault or do whatnot. 100% get it, but there is a better way. And yeah, we created Sparky Sales Systems, which is a self-paced program with live training as well. So we've got members all across Australia, and yeah, it's we train a niche business model, which as an end result gets you $2.5K per day per truck. You nail it, scale it, get off the tools, and run an automated business. That's the crux of it, guys. So yeah, this is the 7-Figure Sparky podcast. It's there for Sparkies. Really, really excited about the industry. Really excited to see. I'm really excited about this industry. Very passionate about the industry because it's on a rising tide, and I mean that, right? AI is there to help us. It's not taking over our industry anytime soon, that's for sure. So it is awesome to see that we are in a market where we're in one of the only industries where we can build a recession-proof business. We've got a recession-proof business model that works. And we're here to get industry insights from industry greats as well. So we're going to be having this one today, which is a bit about me, a bit about what we do here, myself, my journey, where we're at now, what our plans with Sparky Sales Systems are as well. And stay tuned for more tips, tricks, industry insights, no fluff, no BS. That's how we do it. And stay tuned. Looking forward to it. I'm Spyro from Sparky Sales Systems, and you're listening to the 7-Figure Sparky podcast.